Hello, everybody, and welcome back after our little break. So, we are continuing our Profile Line Party series, and today is the last day, oh my God, of the personal destiny profiles. That is kind of crazy that we finally got here. But the four sixes are super excited to come meet you and just be their amazing selves. So, without further ado, let's bring out our lovely co host, Danny. How are
Um,
you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling great. We're at this apex moment, basically halfway through.
Sweet.
Yep,
Yes.
it feels good. Feels good. I'm doing great. How about you, Moana?
I am mostly not functioning, but
Can't
it's
tell.
fine. It's not about me, it's about the guest
No,
today.
no. Yep, you can't tell. It's beautiful.
Amazing. So, without further ado, I will share the slides of the lovely 4-6 profile. Boop. Okay. Do, 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 do. And where is my thing here?
Live streaming.
Alrighty. So the 4-6s. So we always like to start off our profiles with this image, which I will have Danny explain.
Well, this is the house image, and it's been a staple in human design teaching whenever we teach. We use this as a metaphor. You can use lots of things. And this is the profile lines discussing the same way a house is built up. The first line is down on the foundation of the floor. It's that guy reading the newspaper, and he's always studying, investigating. And the second line of a profile is always on the second floor, sort of window, just looking out, and or not even looking out, really. It's just a natural in its own habitat, and others look in on it. It's a projection field. And that third line going up the staircase, they're mutative. They're always winding around the staircase, bumping into this and creating everything to get mixed up, essentially, to mix things up. And then we get to the fourth line. They're the foundation of the second story. And so this is where we begin our journey today, is this fourth line is discussing and living out this nature of externalizing the foundation that was made by the first line. So fourth lines are always here to basically expressively talk and tell their piece and say their thing. And this is married up with, then you move past the fourth line to the fifth line, which is sort of a little bit aloof as it relates to hiding out in their own little space, looking out on everything. And the fifth line is also a projection field. It's universalizing things, and people see it as a saint and a savior and a general and sometimes a heretic. But what happens with this profile is it's the four and the six. So when you get to the sixth line, you're on the roof, this three-stage process. And that roof process is they go up onto the roof at age between 28 and 30, and they become a little bit aloof, a little less personal about every last living thing, and they become more objective rather than subjective. And they're just sort of going to school up there, looking out at everything, being able to look out over everything and hold this image that they're waiting for perfection. So the four and the sixes, I'm ready to externalize what can become the role model of perfection. The whole goal for a 4-6 is to live out the living virtues and natures of what is their design. Live that out, you become that externalizing role model.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you,
So,
Lana.
we have the core traits. So they are usually the central influencer in their social groups, always directing and organizing. And the key value of natural readers leadership fosters togetherness. So their leadership brings people together. That's their style. And they have a strong emphasis on family and friends and giving them importance. And they lead with warmth and magnanimity and wisdom. And they have to learn to balance the wisdom of their head and their heart. Danny, anything to add?
Yeah, by head and heart, you do that spiritually through whatever you feel head and heart really is. And then you do that literally through your body graph and balance out the noise of the mind versus the correctness of your form. One is correct, one is the thing that is only there to help.
Perfect. Okay. Learning and authority. So, Danny, would you like me to do this, or would you like to try?
Strengths, this learning and authority of this 4-6 profile. Strengths lie in leading with a type of empathy that really they picked up from the first line investigation of everything. But it's that rather than control. If you find yourself trying to control too much, you run askew of your nature. They must learn and trust. Trust becomes wicked important, and rely on the other and find those others they can rely on, easing up on that grip of control. The challenge is to open yourself up to overcome this fear of rejection that can show up. Again, a throwback from the first line, but still showing up in the fourth line way. Because fourth lines, it's hard. We can't break them. We don't want to break a fourth line. We just want to gently nudge them so they can be nervous about that. Life's lessons include this using this vulnerability to strengthen their connections. So basically, the right connections are the ones that see that you're being yourself and it's not a vulnerable place. And then authority ultimately emerges from the joy and what ends up being this incredible optimism and sharing that's not out of fear or control or anything of that nature. It's just out of you living out your design. As soon as you live out your design, follow your strategy and authority, all this stuff falls right into place. And we could write 100 more sentences in here and it would still all fall right into place without you having to know it.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, challenges and empowerment. So, we already mentioned this, they kind of struggle between what's in their heart and what they are logically thinking about in their head. Also, between trusting and trying to control things to go a certain way. Their early life is filled with lots of trials and errors, and they need to learn from relationships. And they need to let go of perfectionism. This is something a line 6 tends to want to do, is have things be perfect, and embrace making mistakes. Their empowerment comes from recognizing that life does support them, and it happens when they relinquish control, and they need to shift to a more trusting and relaxed leadership style, and that tends to happen after the age of 50 once they've come off the roof.
The only thing I would add is, as it relates to that perfectionism, it speaks to the optimism, and you do seek a certain perfectionness. So, well, if you find perfectionism getting in your way, sure, slow that down. But you are supposed to be a certain amount of that. Allow it, and have fun with it. As soon as it stops being fun or you don't feel like it, there's your chemistry telling you it's not for you. Your mind does not need to make a decision after that.
Perfect. And to conclude, Danny, you can take this one.
Excuse me. Life journey. So the conclusion, life journey marked by transition, but three-part transition from the personal trials, the trial and error, to societal role model. And it's a three-part process. The importance of maintaining this exceptional relationships. Don't forget, you're the friendly networker. So you're looking for the right influence, and to be of the right influence, this will give your life the right quality. Empowers others through developing these networks. These networks become wicked important. And remember, intimacy for you begins essentially at the first time you shake hands. There's a form of it showing up. So allow that. And if it doesn't feel right, then there you go. That's true. Later life focuses on externalizing all of this wisdom. That's the whole thing. And it becomes transcendent, the role model. The role model ends up being the living embodiment of what it is to be yourself. Others see that, and then they end up coming to you for validation of various sorts, and then encouraged to share what they've observed. The observed or the observer is very much one of the themes about the truths and life's uniqueness without seeking followers. That's the whole thing. The uniqueness happens without seeking followers to say, hey, come be unique like me. Because, of course, that actually isn't even a wise thing to do. That's our
Wonderful.
conclusion.
Yeah. So, with that, that means we are ready to bring on our 4-6 guests. Ooh, so exciting. So,
Mhm.
we are going to start off the power party. Gosh, my
All right. Yep.
Yes, with our initiator, also known as a manifester. Hello,
Trish,
Trish.
craft
Hello.
coach Ola, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic.
Well, that's good to hear. Tell us a little bit about either what you do or how people can get a hold of you and stuff, and introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I refer to myself as a breakthrough coach. I specialize in helping people craft either the flow in their space, the core values and culture of their business, their personal and professional style, and the journey to themselves, ultimately coming into the joy of life. So I have a process that I use in all of those areas, and that's what I'm all about: lighting people up and getting them to their best and highest selves.
Love it. Do you have any way to get in touch with you you'd like to say?
Sure. My website is craftit.us, craftit.us.
Good one.
Perfect.
People go there and check in on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to also put the links in the comments so it's like easy to find. But thank you, Trish. Now we're going to bring up our lovely generator guest. Hello, Nicole.
Hi. How are you?
We're so excited to have you join us today.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing. So tell us whatever you'd like us to know about you.
Well, I'm new to human design, only the last couple years, so I'm new on this journey. And I, when I joined this, they were like, "Are you old enough to be here?" Like,
That was so cute.
I'm almost 40, so I'm new to like.
What?
I'm
Would have
up-
never guessed.
Yeah, I live up on a hill, so every time I'm like, well, I'm in my roof, and I just retreat to my like forest on the hill. And so human design was sort of like a light bulb in my journey, because I have spent basically my entire life trying to do everything I can to get a handle of my mental health and my anxiety. And I did everything everyone told me, and I've gone through this whole like giant spiel. And then I learned about human design, and I was like, oh my gosh, this all makes sense now. Even though I did the right thing, I still fell flat on my face for 30 years. And now I'm sitting back going, okay, how do I take everything that I learned and bring it together to do exactly what Trish is doing? I'm just, behind her right now, where I can teach people how to do this. And I'm really
I'd love
excited.
to help you with that. I'd love to help you with that. When we get off, we'll make sure we trade numbers and we'll have a conversation. And same thing with you, Trish. Anyone who wants to hear more, and we'll make sure you get my phone number. You can just text me and say, "Hey, I was on the show," and boom, we'll start talking. That'll be
I
great.
would love that. It's
Yeah.
very cliche for me, but yes.
Yeah, no, we're all friends here, baby. I'm a 2-4, so we're all friends. We're
Yes,
all
great.
very four-y over here. Lots of fourness.
It's exciting. So yeah, so I'm
Moving
here,
on.
and I learned all that, and now I'm really involved in my community, and I volunteer a lot, and I want to bring everyone together. So we're not fighting anymore, because it doesn't really matter what our political views are, because we all need food and community and stuff. And that's what I'm excited for this, because it put the piece that was missing. So everything now like makes sense.
It's all lining up.
Yes.
It's all fourth lining right up. Who's next? Who's up on
Oh, too funny. So we have our mirror on the wall. Reflector joining us. Hello, Casey.
Hi, how are you?
We are thrilled to have you join us. You already know how hard it is to find reflectors. So whenever I find one to complete the party group, I'm like, yes, we got one.
And I like this thing that Moana's always saying, mirror, mirror on the wall. It just seems really fitting sometimes. But
that was my cue.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, or if you do anything that you want people to know about, tell us about that, or just tell us about your journey here, whichever.
Yeah, so I'm also 40 and just went through what I call the second roof stage. So if you get it wrong in your 30s, what happens around 37, 38 is that you break it all down again. And I attract a lot of clients in the same thing. And so I started all again at 38 and like building a new business, and, had to do all that healing and, working through the, attachment issues that the line 4 tends to have. And, you know, in that deep retreat stage, also really not wanting to lead. But now that I've kind of all through that and now looking at the next 10 years on the roof, now I'm like stepping into lead. I'm creating a group called the Self Activation Academy where I'm going to be helping people through my first course, which is called Dysfunctional. And it's basically how to turn our dysfunctional behavior into the gifts that they're meant to be. Now, I was a human design coach when I started, but it was too restrictive for a reflector. And, you know, I knew that I had to adapt it in my own way. I also have 3 right arrows. So I'm in that process of using it as a methodology, but communicating it in a way that people can really adapt in their day-to-day life. And who better to talk about dysfunctional behavior than a reflector? You know, just helping. And when we look at the statistic in human design, and 70% of the population have an undefined head chakra, and 65% have an undefined heart chakra. So this is overthinking and fluctuating self-esteem. And those are actually my completely open centers. So this is really how I'm starting to pull people in. Like, it's time that society heals these problems that are really endemic now. So I'm really passionate about it. I'm building it all up. But like any problem with a reflector, the burnout is real. Even today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I've already worked all day. But when you're passionate about it, you find more energy. But yeah, that is where I am right now.
Yeah, and that
Amazing.
burnout is really indicative of just us 4th lines in the first place. Everyone here has got a 4th line, including me and Moana, and it's just, yeah, that fatigue that shows up. That's wonderful, and I love that you're doing that. If I can be of any service, you let me know.
Thanks.
Amazing. And yes,
Yeah, I need a manifesting generator.
Yeah, where's that buzz? Where's the buzzy bee?
Where's the
Where's my
energy?
You want the
compadre?
we'll get the Buzzy Bee on, but next we have our returning guest
Returning
coming
guest.
on. We
You have
had to,
music? A red
we had to
carpet? What do we
convince
got?
him so hard to come back, right? Our lovely projector.
This is great. Kip, it's lovely to see you, brother. Always feels good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I had a great time the last time I was here. So you guys, the bar's set pretty high. You better keep me entertained.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is entertaining. You should have noticed already, Kip, all the foriness,
Yes.
very furry in the conversation. If you look back over the other ones, we're taking note, Kip. We're actually
Okay.
people. No, I'm saying if we look back over all our things, you can see we're actually documenting how all us lovely little unique creatures operate inside of our profile. It's pretty amazing.
go.
This group
There
already
you go.
is more talkative than all the other groups. Just like bam, out of the gate. Just so,
Oh yeah.
You know what? You're
absolutely,
right
of
about
course.
that.
Yep, just like out of the
Yeah.
gate, boom. You say blah blah
Yeah.
blah. We got it to say, baby. We're the glue. We're the glue. And the third lines are that heat gun.
Yeah. No problems talking here, boss.
Yeah, no, tell us a little bit. Kip's got a great presence
Well-
on stuff. Tell us a little bit about your stuff on Instagram. And you.
Okay. I don't, me on Instagram's not very interesting. It's just me being me. I want to say a couple things. First, since I was introduced as a projector, I'm a self-projected projector, and that's a lot different than other kinds of projectors. It's a big difference. So I will probably say some things that maybe not all the projectors will relate to, but tough luck.
Yep.
That's, life is what it is. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'm 4 years older than Ra. So Ra and I grew up in the same general milieu, the 60s.
Yep.
And a lot of you won't know this probably, but in 1960 to 1972, there was a major 12-year Uranus-Pluto conjunction. And the world went crazy. The world went crazy, seriously. Assassination of the president, revolution around the world, the women coming into power, sexual revolution, freedom offered by LSD and drugs. And I was taking LSD and I was taking with LSD the same. And I feel like I only met him once, but I would have enjoyed to have met him a few more times just to talk about our acid trips. It's always interesting. It's interesting for me to look back on my life from a perspective that very few people get. I was doing studying all kinds of arcane systems in my 20s. I mean, I really lived out that third line theme from age 16. Oh man, and it was intense. It was outrageous because once I got my freedom at age 16, I never looked back, and I never said no to anything. It's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Sure, I'll jump off the roof. I'll do anything, and I'll hang out with anybody. And it was because of that conjunction. I'm just learning about this. I didn't know anything about that until about 3 months ago. It was incredible time in which to go up with that third line theme, because everything was changing, everything was different, and you had to pivot a lot. There was no getting comfortable in one particular place. When I went up onto the roof, well, all that meant was, all right, by the time I turned 30, I'd lived in 18 or 19 different houses. And then after I turned 30, I sort of slowed that down. I got married for the second time, had a kid, lived in Hawaii, had a steady job. So for me, it wasn't so much about retreating from the world, going up onto the roof, because I'm very outgoing. As a 4/6, I'm really outgoing. And, again, over in Hawaii, I did all kinds of stuff with all kinds of people. And I never felt aloof. But then I have to be honest about this. My 6th line, it's unconscious. I don't pay any attention to it. I can't tell you very much about it because it's unconscious. And by definition, I'm not aware of it. So I'm sure all kinds of stuff might have been happening, but it certainly was not available to me at the time it was happening. I look back, and in retrospect, I can make things up, kind of. I mean, well, this happened or that happened because of, but I don't know. So it's.
I was going to say,
it's really
do the other
interesting
6s relate? The other 4/6s in the group, does
Well, I
that
was just gonna ask.
resonate?
I want to ask, how often do people come to you for advice, and you're like, why are you asking me advice? You should be asking me to jump off the roof. Like, what?
That's so funny. Hey, we're gonna run a little shy on time. Is there anything you want to do before we bring on our manager? But Kip, you want to tell people how they can find you? Kip is the most creative. He's like wicked creative out there and stuff. Just tell us where people can find you if they want to.
Okay. Well, I do have a website. It's called humandesignsystempro.com. I am also on Instagram, and same thing, Human Design System Pro, or you can just look up Kip. I don't think there's many Kips on there. Or you can use my full name, Kip Winsett. I post quite a lot, and I post quite a lot of information about human design. But once in a while, I go on a trip and I post what really interests me. But I offer people a lot of I have the cross, the vessel of love. And I have been focused on making human design available to people in all kinds of different ways, at all kinds of, well, just for example, with readings, I offer a free read, not free, it's, I don't know, what do you charge for? $20. You can go on and click a few buttons and you'll get, like a 25, 30 page reading, $20.
Yep.
I have another one that goes up a little bit from there that's more comprehensive for $70. I have another one that goes up from there that I record it. It takes me 3 or 4 hours just to record, plus the time I put in on research, because I can't keep 3 or 4 hours of steady talking information in my head. I put a lot of work into it. I think, I felt this way about acid too, though. It's gonna change the world.
Yeah.
And everybody that wants it should be able to have it to some extent. I don't do it to make money. I mean, I'm glad I make some money at it. Otherwise, I'd have a different life. But I'm not out there to do that. When I first started offering readings, I think I had paid $200 for my first reading in 1999. You know, that was a lot of
A
money.
lot. Yeah.
And so I came up with a way to deliver readings to people for, I think I charged $100. Big difference.
Yeah.
People need this information. I
We
really
need it.
100% believe that everybody on the planet needs this information. Of course, I've been wrong a lot in my life, so I might be wrong about this. Who knows? But I believe that.
No, you're not wrong, Kip. You're right on.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And plus, the vessel inside
Yeah.
of you and I wants them to have it. We want our extreme brothers and
Yeah.
sisters to be empowered with a universal love
Right.
that loves them. Yep. We can't help it. It's not our fault,
Yeah.
everyone.
He just
Right.
said that subconscious 6. He was like, I might not know. It's like, whatever. You do know.
So
No.
I was going to say, our very fast-moving MG has been incredibly patient.
Yeah. Let's bring her on.
Let's bring on our lovely MG, Mika. Hello.
Hi,
Mika,
Mika.
hola.
There we go.
Hey, hi everybody. How are you?
Me and you are outnumbered here. We're the only two manifesting generators here, so
Handle
it's a
that.
big
Hey,
chore to keep myself not buzzing. I don't know about you.
we'll try. We'll be
We'll
nice.
see. That's awesome. Tell us a
We'll
little
be
bit
nice.
about yourself. Like, just if you do anything, spit out, your web address or a handle that you go by, or if anything, and tell us a little bit.
No problem. So, I am actually. I'm 44, and I'm new. I'm extreme. I listen to y'all, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to get like that, but I'm really new. I've learned about human design maybe only 2 years ago, and to be honest, I didn't start with I started to want to learn more. That's it. I just wanted to learn every damn thing that human design had to offer. And so I spent the next year, that's it. I just was reading books I wasn't supposed to have, and because everything was paid. So I was like finding it elsewhere and all over. But I am working to start Envy the Empire. And what I want that to be is where you can take the same thing. I feel like everybody on the planet needs to have it. And I started talking to people like human design, and they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, okay, wait, let me back it up that. But and I'm like, astrology, can we start there? Because everybody knows their sun sign. So I kind of always kind of reel it back. I was like, it's better. It's your sun sign, but better. And then
Astrology on steroids.
right, it's like that. And then I'll kind of try to, I'm learning. I'm really into my learning process. So I'll ask them and I'll pull their chart up. And so I use a little software, and I don't know what I can and can't say. So I'm
Say everything. Say whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. No, meaning like I don't want to call a name of something and it's like boop, can't say that. But, so that's where I'm at. So I'm trying to take my learning process and make it into a living learning process. I don't feel like I can learn everything, and I don't feel like anyone is supposed to learn everything now. But I think that's what I was trying to do. I felt like for a while I wanted to just learn everything. But I've come to the places I want to create a place where people like you, or everybody who has their own area of teaching, can just come and offer it. And then I throw events by trade. So I want to take my events that I do and kind of make it like where human design and actually experiences in real life kind of meet. That's my goal. That's what I want to do with it.
Love it. How can people get a hold of you if they want to?
Well, my Boss Built has been my general name, but Envy the Empire is what the company is, and you can find me through there. But
Can you type both of those into the chat?
I was going to say, yes, all our guests, please do type that, your links into the chat, and then I will put it.
Name, links. And if you want to talk, throw a phone number in there, because I'll be happy to. And if you're new at this, Mika, then let's get you learned up a little bit more, and I'll throw down with you. Just period.
I would appreciate it.
Yep.
Amazing. So now let's let our guests have some fun. We have our lovely other co-hosts. We have 3 co-hosts on the show. You can have 1 for 3, 3 for 1, whatever the deal is. You got all
Musketeers.
of them. The 3 Musketeers. That's us. So we're gonna tag Danny and me and bring Moni on.
Hello.
Hi, Moni.
Nice seeing you guys all again.
Yeah.
Ready for? I've been good. Better now that I'm hanging out with all of you. You guys ready for some bingo?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So for the first thing, we have central figure in your tribe. Next up, we have holding court effortlessly. You guys are all very like delightful and social from like the get about meeting. I'm like, oh, this is so fun and bubbly. Next up, we have social situations revolve around you.
People don't always like that. Like you walk into a party and it's not about you, and you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose.
I'm sorry that God made me so social and delightful. Why would you punish me?
But I love you, so therefore it's okay, right?
Exactly. That's super cute. Next up, we have foster togetherness. After that, we have family and friends are everything. Afterwards, we have king or queen of your circle. I feel like that fits with the last one too. After that, we have spreads warmth and wisdom.
What was that?
Spreads warmth and wisdom. Next up, we have lead with your heart. After that, we have fear of rejection.
We don't like to talk about that one.
I think line 4 is the one who has the most attachment issues ever.
I was like my favorite person. I hate when they go. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like you're consciously aware of that like fourth side, that social side, that friend side. And then like once you realize someone's a fourth end, you're like, oh, I see why that hurt them so much. Like there's more of an understanding.
Yeah.
Next up, we have show vulnerability. Afterwards, we have open your heart. Next up, we have balance head and heart.
What was that?
Balance head and heart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I think I have. You just got to get them all lined up vertically or horizontally or diagonally. Is that right?
Yep. Or the four corners in the center spot.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay.
Well, at least now we know you're close. Watch out.
This is a hard game, you know.
It's very complex. Next up, we have learn to trust others.
Oh, it's got to be here somewhere.
Next up, we have quit masterminding everything.
What?
What
will I do?
Oh, y'all, that's my problem.
But then nothing could happen.
Exactly.
Well, what was that last one?
Quit masterminding everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
turn my volume up here a little bit, I think.
Oh yeah, go for it. Next up after that is let life happen. I feel like that's a good follow-up. After that, we have trust life to support you. This next one is kind of funny. Relax into your regal air.
I guess that only happens in the off the roof stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm off the road. Like, definitely in my Cleveland.
Next one up, we have Embrace your authority with joy.
Embrace your what?
Authority with joy. Next one after that is control stems from fear.
Ooh, I think I have a bingo.
Oh, yay. Cool.
Yes.
I like,
We
you're actually the first person to show it. I think
Oh
we
yes, I need proof. See?
Yeah.
Got one more.
It's so cute seeing how the different profiles like react to things and play along with things. So that was like a neat thing. I'm like, I've never even thought of that. And you're the first person to be like, look.
Yay, see? Proof of how awesome I am. See?
Most definitely got it. Well done, everybody.
I think this game was rigged. It was stolen from me. I demand a recount.
All right, well, that's what I gotta talk to. It's above my pay grade. You gotta talk to Moana about that one.
I always get close, but no cigar.
Never quite.
Never quite.
Yeah,
I was
Never
waiting.
never
I
quite.
was waiting for the perfectionist tendencies to give me the win.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's funny though.
He's all got that perfectionist
That's great.
tendencies going around.
Gosh, I was waiting for one thing in 3 different places.
Me too.
I thought
Two lines.
surely I'm going to get one of them, but nope. Nope.
Story of our life. Mistake, failure. Almost.
Hey, you're not. You don't have something against me, do you, Moni?
I love you. I got
Oh,
nothing
thank
against
you.
It's like, I don't even make this game. I'm just here to be the Vanna White.
Quit
Oh,
masturbating
yes. Well,
everything.
I'm just a puppet.
just a puppet. Okay, so we have a winner.
We have a winner. Where's Moana?
The Overlord has appeared.
Yeah, see, puppet master.
Oh, yes.
That's our inside joke. That is no longer our inside joke.
Well,
So, Moni, thank you for leading such a wonderful game of bingo. Tag. Let me bring
Tag.
Danny back
Yeah,
on.
that was
Boop.
fun.
All right, Danny, you ready to pry into the minds of the 4 sixes?
Questions away.
All
We
right.
want you guys thinking about questions. So we're going to just be up on the screen for a little bit and you'll just talk amongst yourselves. Someone will go first. I don't know who that'll be, but encourage the others to go after and talk. So question, what challenges have you faced in balancing your desire for personal relationships with your unconscious need to be a guiding example to others? And let me flesh that out. Balancing the desire for personal relationships, the 4th line, and the 6th line that started out in a 3rd line phase that bumped into and made bonds and broke bonds and then moved along that path. So speak to us about your 4thness and your 6thness to the best you can as it relates to you navigating this world. Just general. So it's a general question.
Okay. I'll take. I actually like speaking. I actually do. I'll say this. I feel like before you know that that's what's happening, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a whole lot of emotions and feeling like I don't know why people don't like me type feeling, and it's just like, but I'm amazing. It's kind of like this whole back and forth with yourself. And for me, it was a lot of, I have an open heart. So it was like a lot of, I'm not good enough. I had a ton and people pleasing. And so I did a lot of that, a ton. I think sometimes I still do, but you know, I think I've learned to that it's a part of who I am. So it's like, I've done really bad with the networking though. I worked at home for 20 years. So my networking didn't network, but, the last 4 or 5, I think I've done better, like since I've been out. But I feel like when you don't know, like, you ever heard the saying, what you don't know don't hurt you? It can. It really does. Mm-hmm. And I feel like for me, if I would have, it's like you ever had your partner tell you you're too friendly and you're not trying to be that type of friendly, you're just fucking friendly. Like, yeah, I'm like that. So it's like I'm trying to be friendly to network, and I'm really seriously don't really like people like that. And that relationship, man, I really am pulled to network, and I didn't understand it. And I was really like, I got into arguments like about I don't like these people. I just want to talk, like, you know, those type of things. So I feel like now I have a better understanding of who I am. It's kind of too late for all of that, but that's where I am now. And my current partner understands, so that's easy. That makes it better.
That resonates with me a ton. I wrote down here, not letting other people's judgments get to me, because just because I am talking to someone, I'm just curious what they're like. Tell me more about your life. That doesn't mean I do or agree with what they're saying or doing, but I'm going to understand, and I'm going to be like, oh, actually, you are useful. I'm sorry people judge you, but they will all of a sudden judge you. And it's like, it's hard to let that go and know that you are someday will be wise and that, you know, people judging you is just their misconception and their own conditioning, and letting that go is really, really hard.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Oh, go.
I had a funny experience when I was 19. I was working as an intern at Western Behavioral Sciences Institute, a research company in La Jolla. I was working on a project to determine what the best policy would be in order to prevent nuclear war. It was really interesting. And the guy that was running the place, who gave me the opportunity to be there, he had studied with Carl Rogers. Some of you may not know, but Carl Rogers is probably the most famous psychologist of the 20th century. Quite a brilliant man. So he persuaded Carl to come out from Michigan to be at Western Behavioral Sciences Institute, which he did, and he brought with him a young man that he was mentoring, Dick Johnson, his name was. And he offered this deal to everybody that worked at Western Behavioral Sciences Institute. If we wanted to, we could see Dick Johnson for free for, you know, therapy. I was 19. I thought I was pretty screwed up because I wasn't like other people, but I didn't really care very much that I was screwed up. I mean, it didn't really bother me. It's just something I could see. And I had a few good friends though, which is about all a projector can deal with. And anyway, so I went to see this guy, and he was doing 8-hour therapy sessions. They were called marathon sessions. Woo! 19 years old, and I'm sitting across from this guy in his, you know, probably in his late 30s or something, who's supposed to be really smart, to be mentored by Carl Rogers. And nothing in the room except me and him, my cigarettes and an ashtray, oh, and a lighter. And he would ask me these questions. And he would ask me, one of the questions I remember that he asked was, well, so do you experience anxiety? Okay, I'm 19 years old. What 19 years old person has any idea of what anxiety means? Do I experience anxiety? I don't know, but it doesn't sound too good. Anxiety. No, I don't experience anxiety. So this went on. We met once a week, 8 hours each time. And after, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks, he called me up and he said, you know, I don't really feel like I can help you, so I'm going to have to put an end to these. So I'm going,
sometimes
whoa.
a projector heard that.
I got in my car and I drove away, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm 19 years old, the protege of the most famous psychologist in America can't help me. I must be much more fucked up than I thought I was. I must be really fucked up. I got to be really, really, really weird. I was like, okay, that's what I am. Fine, I'll be that. I don't care. Whatever. But it was really, it was weird. It was really weird to, for some period of time like that, just see yourself that way, you know. But I just couldn't buy.
Did you seek any more counseling?
No, I learned how to count.
Kind of figured that was a no. He's like,
He took LSD.
Talk to yourself, Kip. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, if that's all it
Self-projected. You're going to
takes,
figure it out in your own words anyway.
yeah, right, exactly. But it was my third line years. I really did. They were so much fun. God, they were fun. I did so much. I mean, honestly, it was just unbelievable. I did so much. I loved them. They were great. It was a bit of a disappointment to quote, go up on the roof and settle down a bit. But then I married the love of my life, so that made it better. I'm curious. I'm sitting here. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I am buzzing with the energy from y'all.
It's all those defined.
Not me.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but you're mirroring it all. You're reflecting it all.
Maybe I'm amplifying it out. But yeah.
I have 6 undefined centers. 4 of them are completely open. So y'all are like, wow, how do you guys like to be 4-6 as a manifester? I mean, what? How do you do that?
How so?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It's interesting for me because I think my on the roof stage, I was totally in my not self and didn't know anything about human design. So I was like the super slave, the super party host, the super like connector, the everything, because I did it all. And that was, I ran a salon with, multiple employees. I collaborated business groups, and I ran a political campaign, and I went into burnout. So there wasn't anything aloof about my on the roof. It was just all in all day long. And I'm really enjoying being off the roof.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it.
Rob, I lived long enough to see what happens after you've been off the roof the first time. I mean, you go up there, you come off, you go up again, you come off. It's like it never stops. It's always moving.
He keeps going back up there. Wait, hold on. Wait,
I think he's talking about Casey because Casey said.
I was like, wait, hold on, I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the on the roof stage is like you said, it's many things. I moved country twice. I started a new business, but still I, got married and settled down. Like it still was way less crazier than my 20s. And then much like Trish, like it eventually led to breakdown. And then I went severely into the roof. And that's when I really started to learn the lessons of the 6th line. And the biggest one that came up is the attachment to relationships. I think it's like the biggest theme, like, just always clutching to people, always chasing people, always feeling like I had to have friends around me. Otherwise, also with that open heart, otherwise I wasn't, like popular or, had power or useful in the world, right? So I kept constantly surrounding myself by people. And when you tie it with that line 6, we just jump into, we just give our heart and we're like, so I've met some people who have never had a long-term relationship in their life. I'm like, oh, I've been in love so many times. I can't believe people haven't been in love. I can't believe people haven't had multiple different groups of friends and then broke up and then made new ones. But once I really went on the roof, I realized that the people pleasing and that attachment and that need to always be in social circles and having to learn the lesson of the difference between aloneness versus loneliness. And there's such a fear of that, oh, I'm lonely. And the first time I stopped hanging out with people, I remember thinking I had no plans that weekend. And I was like, I said to myself, oh, I have crushing isolation. And I was like, people hang out by themselves all the time. So I had to learn how to do things on my own and hang out on my own. And now I've powered alone. Now I've learned the lesson of aloneness. Now I step into my power especially as a reflector, because my energy gets so confused with other people. People always want me as well around them. And I didn't even realize that it was their energy that wanted me around when often I actually wanted to leave. So the power of aloneness and the solitude is just, I think, number one lesson for line 4, and to just stop throwing yourself into those relationships at some point. And now I'm just starting from scratch and just bringing in like one person at a time and just being very careful and, rebuilding that network again.
That's crazy.
I don't think I knew anything about aloneness and attachment styles until I divorced my husband of 18 years right after I ran the political campaign. And I was just coming off the roof now that I look back. But you're right. Like, I had people around me all the time. My daughter, my husband, people in work, staff, somebody was always with me. And being in that space of healing after, leaving that marriage and being on the floor in a, fetal position and going, I'm a Leo and I'm needy, like, what the hell?
You're Leo.
Yeah, and having that, oh my God, I'm attached to people. Like, I'm never alone. Like, this is, whoa. And it took a while to get comfortable with and get through that, that stage of not looking at it as being lonely and finding the wonderful parts of being alone. And that was quite a ride to come into that part.
Were you raised in a family with siblings?
I was an only child.
Ah, me too. So I wondered about that.
Yeah. So constantly friends or circle or, like stuff, even though I didn't have, brothers and sisters in my space all the time.
Okay,
How about you, Nicole?
I grew up with brothers, and somebody when I was younger was always there. And when I got older, I didn't want to be around anybody. I would send everybody away. And I
probably would have too if I had brothers and sisters.
I require, but now, I have the relationship attachments, but my circle is really small. Like, it's literally my partner and my children. I have 4 children, so it's like that's my circle. And like, I don't really, and I have like 3 friends. They don't live here. But you can get the connection with them if you call them. That's it. But so I kind of, it's interesting to hear that there was a alternative version of me, let's say, that would have just had a whole bunch of people always around me, or just always there. And that's anxiety to me. And I guess maybe I was supposed to have that and learned how to do that. Yeah. But like, besides, like, I've been a mother for a long time, like my whole life. So it's like, I don't know, when I got the opportunity, when they got bigger, to not have people around me, like, I would literally take days. I would just disappear and have a spa day. And I guess that's so unforced of me now that I look at it, but it's more like I have times but I loved it. And I only feel alone when I'm with people. I've never felt alone by myself. And that's crazy. I've never felt alone. I've always only felt it in rooms when people who were supposed to care about me were there, and they did it.
Yeah.
That's really super interesting that you pointed out that way. What's your emotional channel? It's not 1222 by chance, is it?
Emotional manifesting generator.
Right, but the emotional channel, is it 1222, or is it one of the tribal ones?
I believe it's tribal. I can pull it up, but I just don't have it. It's on.
All right, awesome. Well, the next question that we're coming up again, and so let me see. So describe how your natural optimistic. Describe how your natural optimistic outlook. That's fantastic. You're throwing me off, Kip.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Well, it's funny because the two in me suddenly lost track, and I don't know what's funny. That's what's happening right now. I'm not sure what's funny because the second line of me is like, what? Something happened? Did I do that? It's hilarious.
Well,
anyway.
Anyway. You're saying this natural optimistic outlook, and I'm going, what natural optimistic
I know.
outlook?
Well, that actually is funny. Well,
I feel like Mika just said that. Mika just touched on that exactly, how you will feel alone in a room surrounded by people and you have trouble trusting people, and it's hard staying optimistic when people do hurt you because you want to be, you know, there and know everyone, and then someone breaks your trust and you're like,
you get very cynical.
Yes. And
I had no time for any of you.
Yeah, I was complete opposite. I just like had my heart broken. Was cheated on so many times, and I'd get up and I'd be like, I'll try it again. And I think that's how when I see the word natural optimism, I would say it's because I just keep throwing myself into things, at least in the first, 35 years of my life. And just would, even if I had failures, even if I had heartbreak, I'd be like, it'll be the next time.
I do that though. We kind of rationalize everything. Everything makes sense. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I understand why you did that.
That's all right. It's supposed to happen that way. It's a gift, whatever. Yeah.
I understand.
I always find the silver lining. My husband used to say to me, if we lived in a cardboard box, you'd decorate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Well,
yeah. Make it a home.
Yeah.
Right, why not?
Do that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe sometimes we don't identify with the word because after the failure, you have that big crash for a little while. So it feels like, oh my gosh, but you do get back up, dust yourself off, and do it. But yeah, there is that. It's very high and low, isn't it? Like this.
Somebody referenced it like swinging from a tree, and if you don't have someplace else to swing to, you fall. And that hit home so well because, like, if you have something else, it's just so nice. But see, I'm not a something else type of person. I am such a hold on to everything I got type of person, and so there's never anything to swing to when somebody hurts me. It's always just, oh, well, okay, I got this. Hold on, I got this. Then I'm like you. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Hi, I'm back.
I don't know. I got hurt quite a lot in Hawaii just because of who I was hanging out with. There's a certain kind of person in the world that they just can't, particularly in the arena of enlightenment or consciousness, or that whole thing, the spiritual thing, they just can't stand it if somebody seems to know something they don't know. They think that it makes them not as far along the path, which it doesn't. So I happened to be hanging out with a group of people, all of whom were like that, all of whom had a very insulated passage of time on a very small island in Hawaii, and it was the crowning achievement of their life, and nothing after that ever could get through. And I mean, I got hurt a lot. I mean, they didn't mean to, I'm sure, but I don't, who cares about their motive? And I remember what I did with it, and I didn't realize it until now. I just pretended like it hadn't happened. I just kind of stuffed it down and pretended like but it did hurt. And it's kind of embarrassing to me now, both that it hurt and that I didn't acknowledge that hurt at the time. I mean, I was in my 30s. What man in his 30s is going to say, oh gosh, you really hurt my feelings? I mean, there might be some out there, but I sure wasn't one of them, because as soon as I did that, well, I know that if I did that, they'd just hurt me more because it's weakness. I mean, that was what I knew back then. Yeah, I didn't cope with that too well. I didn't let it break me, but yeah, it was hard. It was surprisingly hard, and in ways that I didn't know. I had to have there's a great line, hexagram 36. I had to feign insanity quite often. Some of you will know what that means. Some of you won't, but yeah, I had to pretend to be like them. And that's horrible to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because projectors and reflectors, the 4 is amplified because we're also the helpers. So like we also give and want to help everybody so deeply. And when they turn on you, it just feels like 10 times worse. Like being a line 4 is bad enough, but when you're just trying to and I'm sure any other line 5 would feel the same. It's like, so it cuts deeper, I think. Also because our energy is really entwined with their energy. It's like you have to retract this like union between everybody we connect with.
Yeah. I didn't have any place to get away from it. Fortunately, my wife and I are very tight. And so we don't spend any time with other people to speak of now. They're just too damned hard. She's a 6'2", so she feels that way too. They're just too hard. You don't get enough out of it.
How about you, Nicole?
Me?
Yeah, the optimism, just generally speaking. And it's the optimism I'm asking this question. It's when I say natural optimism, I'm asking it in terms of even when things get dark, there's always this kernel that's willing to be optimistic. It works a lot like hope.
Yeah.
Hope makes no sense, sometimes, but yet it's still there. And optimism's like that too. There's like, no, it'll get better. You started out with saying that.
Yeah, that's kind of like sometimes that's all you have is to know that that there is happy little silver linings around everything. And I think Kip said it a lot, how understanding is, you just got to understand is because, even when people are mean or they hurt you, there's always a reason and somewhere that it came from and a lesson you're to learn. It's hard to stay upset when you can look at it that way. As soon as you understand that.
That's our biggest problem. I'm sorry.
Well, it can be the biggest problem. I think it probably was more painful for me again as not knowing my design. Now I understand that it's like it's really none of my business and it's not personal. Like if somebody hurts me today,
now
I know that it's because they're living life through their lens. It's not necessarily that they want to attack me or take away from me or hurt me as the the recipient. So there's that optimistic part before was kind of like a self-preservation, and now it's more of an understanding and saying, okay, the acceptance and saying, because humans are messy.
Yes, exactly. It gets weird when we try to pretend we're not. That's when it gets weird.
Right.
And then we're all like, oh, I messed up. We're like, yep, we messed up. Let's, yay, next time.
Okay, now what do we do?
Let's do it again. This year.
So let's do it again. That is, you're just like, oh, I'm going to run right back in there. And
yes. Maybe if I'm more excited.
It'll be different next time.
But yeah, like someone said, it was like it can be our worst trait as well, because like sometimes we always rationalize everything like, oh well, I guess it was okay that they did all these terrible things to me, and that also ties to that clinginess and that clutchiness. So learning that and like also just learning to let people go and not rationalize and accept their behavior has been very life-changing to me. Like I'm allowed to say no, that was not good enough. And I want you to meet my great line 4 vibes that I'm giving you. I want it back. So like I'm learning to not be so optimistic, perhaps.
Yes, we can understand red flags, but it doesn't mean we have to own them.
Exactly.
Or paint polka dots on them.
That was good.
Yes.
Let's take this next one. So how are you guys navigating? You've already spoken to this a whole ton, so maybe just speak a little bit to how you've navigated that shift from the 6 lines experimental phase, in its 3rd line where it was making and breaking bonds, where it was bumping into things and it was very much mixing things up, to your movement onto basically into not that. At some point in time, the pessimism that's there in the 3rd line gives way to the 6th line optimism we spoke about a moment ago. How have you guys just generally experienced the shifting? You're the shifters in this. The rest of us don't shift. You guys do. You are the life process. So
I feel like I'm kind of new to the roof, and I was thinking about this question and how I feel like I play a sort of like hokey pokey right now. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just like step up and try, and then I'm like, nope, I did it again, and I'm like, go back. Okay, I thought I understood what I was doing. Let's try again. We'll just we're gonna go back up. And yeah, I just keep trying to learn everything that I'm figure if I learn about it, then eventually I'll stop doing it, right? And then I'll be wise. That's the plan, right?
I feel like we never stop experimenting, right? Like I feel like like I said, I still started companies. Now I'm starting a new company. Now I'm learning how to break friendships and trying different ways to have relationships. I'm trying different career paths that are more in line with who I am. Like, I've never stopped experimenting. Like, now I don't socialize and party as much, but like, I'm still like daily experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
I found for me that as a projector, oh, I hate saying this, but I've bitterness. Boy, have I gone through some bitterness times. Just, it's so often, it just seems like nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time, good, maybe most of my life, to understand that the idea of something not working is kind of a false idea in the first place. You know, it works the way it works. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Probably everybody, I guess, has an experience of that. You know, I'm sure manifestors don't hit everything just right every time. I don't know.
Don't tell them.
You know, we all have that. I can remember though I get pissed off. That's what happens. I get pissed off. When I get bitter, I get really mad. I get mad at whatever you want to call it up there, God. And I get pissed. And I start yelling and screaming at him. Why the fuck are you doing this to me? You know, that kind of behavior. And I get it all out. Do any of the rest of you do that?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what I'm learning, I suppose, on the roof, is how to like not judge myself and beat myself up about the failures. So I'm learning not to yell at the universe anymore and not to yell at myself. And that has been the lesson just this year with all this Cancer energy and there's big changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm finally getting to that lesson of the experimenting.
I think for me, I feel like I just lost my train of thought. Oh my God.
That happens.
So MG of you.
Very much so. Wow. And it was there, and I was like,
Come back.
Yes.
I'll come back.
Well, what about off the roof experimenting?
I don't have as many expectations as I used to, and I don't take it as personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The experimenting for me, and especially as a manifestor off the roof, is at a much slower pace. I rest a lot these days, and I do not feel guilty about it. And I do a lot of sway testing, so I let my body make the decisions versus my mind. I can't even imagine having an open head. Any of you that have an open head, I'm so sorry. Like,
and I'm a reflector. It's like, oh my gosh, I give up.
Oh boy, yeah.
About the open head, because do you have the ability to stop thinking for real?
For real.
I coach my open head clients with the 3 not self questions. It's like, if you've thought about it more than 3 times, ask yourself, is this even my question? Then
Right.
the second, and close some tabs, right? Then the second question is it going to bring me joy or is it going to matter in 5 minutes? And if not, close some tabs. And then the third one is anybody going to die?
I use that one.
It's a lot of tabs.
A lot of tabs. Right?
Yeah.
And I'll know that whenever the first thing I ask them is, do you have an open head? And when I'm looking at their human design, and it's like, you know, and I say, do you have a computer? And they say yes. And I say, how many tabs are open on your computer right now? And they laugh. And I go, okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna go there first.
Wow, that's very manifestor of you.
Yeah. And you know, for me, the big thing is being able to sway test and let the body make the answer. And that's anybody with an open head that's a client of mine. I get them into their body so extremely fast because it shuts down. Otherwise, they'll be like, they'll be like, we'll sway test on it, and they'll get their answer. They'll go, shit, that was easy.
That's awesome. I need to write this down because
that was a good one, actually, right? Because I think I'm the only one with a defined head in my house. So everybody is just like, oh, you don't just stop thinking. And I'm like, how? How do y'all do that? Like, where are you? And I was like, I'm gonna ask somebody else who don't have something. I was like, somebody has to tell me how, because it doesn't turn off. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do that. It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I have an open head, but I have a defined mind. And when I was young and I tried to meditate, they'd say, think about nothing.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Fine-headed mind,
That's
no.
not working. It doesn't work at all. Thinking about nothing. I'm still thinking because tonight I said, what is nothing? Nothing's a very interesting concept, isn't it? Oh, wait. What does that mean? Think about nothing. How do you do that?
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Then it's like, now wait. Oh, wait. Oh, no. We're thinking. Stop.
Yeah, it's really, as much as they say that you just have to find that inner peace, and I was like, no, because we can't meditate, but it really is the answer. And once you remove all the trauma and you balance those centers, then you really find that peace. Some CBT, you got to rewire it, you know. And also I found that directing the overthinking from useless stuff into positive stuff actually helps you move forward in life. So instead of worrying about other people's problems and things that are never going to go forward, be like, what's my new business idea? Or like, how can I take my next positive step to go somewhere I want to go? Because people are in burnout mode because they're thinking about useless things that get them nowhere. And then they're like, I'm too tired to do anything. So it's a redirection.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have
like
a friend that
the
says
gas and the emergency brake at the same time.
Mhm.
Like it just burns everything out.
Yep.
So I get into feeling versus thinking.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I have a
Do you
friend.
have an open head or a defined head, Nicole?
Open.
Open?
Mm-hmm.
So can you meditate on nothing?
I have been working on acknowledging my thoughts and then trying to push them away. Not so.
Yeah.
It's hard. Sometimes my mind's just going too much, but it's something I have to work on and I have to stay in practice. And I find that the more I do it and the regular it is, the easier it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of my roof is I'll realize that I'm out of practice because I'm thinking things are great and I'm fine. And then all of a sudden it's been 6 months and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how to like acknowledge this and stop. And I have to center myself like literally and then get back in practice. But it's it's something I have to work at for sure.
Yeah. I use this little app called Headspace, and they have one specifically for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And, and the guy, I use this guy, I really like him, Andy. And he just says, well, so you're thinking, just notice that you're thinking. Just notice it.
Yeah.
And after about 2 years, it translated into my real life, where I was always had this thing. If I'm doing chores, I got punished with chores really a lot when I was very young. So when I'd be doing chores, I'd have this battle with my mother in my head, and it would just be going, and one day I went, oh, you're thinking, whoa, my God, what a relief that was. It was huge. And, so I don't do that very much anymore. I mean, now I have the problem with bait, where you're going along, everything's cool, and something kind of pops up.
Oh.
And you're right. And you see it. And you know that if you get involved with that thing, it's going to last for a while. But some part of you goes, no, it's okay. You can do it a little bit. Because, it's going to feel very entertaining when you bite into it. And you think, oh, no, I'll just do it a little bit. I'll just do it for a few minutes, and then 3 days later, you come to your senses, right?
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, right.
Interact on social media. Don't do that. That's how that works.
But yeah, even with the meditating, I'm like, if my mind is having all these thoughts, then just let it. So I just do my own form of meditating, and I just sit there and let it do whatever it wants to do. and it still does the thing it needs to do. It will still help you wake up, feel refreshed, and find the answer and get the clarity. So I'm like, and I'm getting better at it, but it's like we are who we are as well. Like we certainly need to balance it, but sometimes I'm like, my mind, it's part of the processing. It's also like ADHD, right? The mind just kind of needs to like pum 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 and put it all into order, and then you come out. So I'm like, that's still a form of meditating.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, sure.
It works for me. It works.
Yeah,
Here's your
yeah.
optimistic
It works.
part.
That's the thing.
Love it.
I think
It's gonna say there's some wind coming from somebody.
Is it too much?
Yeah.
Me. Sorry. That's
Outside?
me. I got
No worries. I was gonna say, are we ready to party?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Party hardy. Hold on a second while I bring our party on. So our first game of the night is a data guessing game. So how it works is you're going to guess some stats. So the website is right up here, jackbox.tv, and the code is right here, EHFO, when you pull up the site. So
Can you repeat that?
So jackbox.tv is the site.
Yep, and then it's right on the screen. So if you look on the screen, you can see it too, EHFO.
a dolphin.
Well, you pick the dolphin. So, Nicole, you are special here because you have the VIP status, which means you are in charge of saying, let's start playing once you see everybody has entered. So, everyone, you pick your name and you choose a little icon to represent yourself. So, whatever makes you happy.
Say, Rob, do you ever think there are people out there listening in on our conversations? Are you asking if I think there's people eavesdropping on the eavesdroppers? Yeah, I guess. Wow, that's pretty meta.
I think we might have lost
sure, I
Mika.
guess there could be a group of people gathered in a room listening to our
Sorry,
conversations
I'm
at this
not
very
having-
moment. But I
I was gonna say, is there someone else's device you could borrow? Because
I was getting.
perfect.
better to do right now.
Yeah,
Just
because
circle
we
around.
lose
And I-
you when you're trying to do it from the same
So
thing.
they could give
Yeah,
me
I
the
suppose there's
That's what I was doing.
There you go.
But
Great
that
minds
group
think
have to
alike.
leave. They could be enjoying each other's company.
All right,
Each
we're
other's
here.
Actually listening
Okay,
to
we're
us.
here.
I guess you'd
Beautiful.
have to be a pretty pathetic
Aha!
teacher.
So I think that's everybody.
There's the
So
type of people
Nicole,
I'd hate
the
to be at a
VIP,
party with.
you
I
can
bet
say
there's the type of
everyone's
party
in
that
on your
puts out
phone.
a veggie tray.
Everyone's
A
in.
veggie tray.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so just follow the instructions of the game, and I am leaving you to.
Hello, we've been watching you. Wait, that sounded weird. We've been watching you, and now we're sharing your secrets with the public.
Oh.
Not much better. Oh well. We made a game out of all this info, and we call it Guespionage. Let's have some analytical fun. Who's up first? What should I search for in the old Surveillance Pro next? Ooh, I know. What percentage of people allow their credit cards to be charged for services they no longer use because they are too lazy to cancel them? Good guess. You'll get more
That's how they make
points the closer your
Wait,
guess is to the actual
we guess?
percentage. We have an answer.
I was gonna
69%.
I went
How do
Everyone
you-
else,
how do
you
you
think the
guess?
correct answer is
Wait, how
higher
do you
or
do
lower?
this?
let me do it.
Oh, we all have to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're going to
It
guess
just-
against
Ah.
Nicole's guess.
Oh, do you think it's higher or lower than my guess?
I went. Yeah.
I hear you.
Looks like an even split. Okay, let's see the right answer. 27%. Terrible guess.
I guess
How
I'm
does
lazy.
Planet Fitness make their money though?
Who said no?
Oh, here we go, Casey. No motors. We're the good.
I'll absorb the answer.
Okay.
I hear you.
I don't know. How about what percentage of people still have DVD towers in their places of residence?
Are they holding DVDs still though?
19%. Okay, higher or lower? Looks like an even split. And the correct answer is 30%. Only 30%.
How is
Where
it
did the
more
rest of you
people
put your
have
extra copies of
DVD
Waterworld?
towers?
That was more.
This seems.
Who got it right? Ooh, points for you.
Oh, we're on a roll here, Casey.
We're the open centers.
Yeah.
0 points. Why am I up there on the?
How about this?
You have to pick the percentage now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What percentage of people have done the wave at ball games?
Oh my God,
Wow.
way higher than that.
Is this a US only statistic
Everyone
or
pick
worldwide?
higher or lower.
I want to know.
Just one person says lower. And Surveil says 83%.
Oh.
That's what we call in the ballpark.
We don't have ball games.
Let's see who got it right.
I'm Australian.
I was gonna say,
Oh man.
It's all our society depends upon.
The wave, whenever the wave.
All right, buckle in. I've got one for you. What percentage of people keep end of year holiday cards on display for weeks or months after New Year?
Oh, God. Oh.
Oh, and don't forget to answer the question too, audience. Every answer counts.
you said 1%.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't know how to work it. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Everyone else, higher or lower?
Ooh, that's
That's like right on, I'd say.
yeah, like that's about right. Oh.
I hear you.
One of you thinks it's higher. Now let's get to the right answer. 20%. I love holiday cards from my bank. I display
That's
them
what they use their DVD towers for.
right.
They don't even get, because nobody even gives Christmas cards anymore. So
That's true.
Evite.
Next up. Okay, computer. What do you have for this one?
Oh my gosh.
What percentage of people prefer Predator over Alien?
I don't watch scary movies.
Oh.
I don't think I know what Predator is. I'll just say. Okay.
Shit.
I am
What do y'all
not
think?
informed.
Higher or lower?
Make a decision.
I don't know these movies.
I hear you.
Isn't Predator the one where it like comes out like that?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
That one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think that one then.
You were saying higher. Okay, let's see the right answer. 52%.
Oh.
A wise choice. You can have a conversation with Predator.
I finally got one.
Yay.
Let's see who got it right. Well done. You did well. Let's see who's in the lead after round one.
I hear you.
Not bad, but things are.
Yay, Casey.
Flexes for the win.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is the warm-up game. So
Oh.
Okay.
we got you all nice and warmed up. Yay! Now we're going to play the actual game. So let's exit here. This is where we want to go. So the next one, you are going to be answering some questions. So they're going to ask you some really odd questions, and you're going to have to fill in the blank, whatever comes into your head. The crazier, the better for this one.
It's kind of like Cards
Like-
Against Humanity, where like you can totally just go.
Kind of, but Cards Against Humanity has actual written answers there for you. This is
Yeah.
like you're coming up with them
This is our
yourself.
own.
Yeah, but
Even
if
more fun.
but if you're really stuck, I think there's a prompt that you can use to make one up for you. So that is something you can do if you feel really, really stuck. So your new room code, it is JCKX.
JCKX.
Sit back and relax, it says.
I don't know who has the button to say everyone's in. Check. All
Well,
right.
I've sit back and relax, so I'm guessing I'm not the initiator.
It was no Fast and Furious parents.
So,
Hi, I'm Schmitty. That's spelled SCH Mitty. Remember, guys, during this game, it's natural to fall in love with me. Fight the feeling. Let's go.
Who would never?
This is round one. You'll get 2 prompts on your device. Just answer them however you want. Your responses, or quips, will be pitted against someone else's, and everyone will vote on their favorite. You score based on the percentage of players who like your answer. Plus, there are winners' bonuses at stake. Go.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
I have a question on mine, so I have to answer this, I imagine.
Oh, okay. Ah,
Just 2 questions. Why am I at the top of the page?
You're the only one who finished
are you the
answering.
one that has to answer?
Oh, I only had 2 questions.
I don't have any questions. Oh,
It's on your phone.
It's on your phone, Kip.
oh. Oh, I see. A mission Sherlock Holmes could never solve. The case of the...
Three, 2, 1.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, well.
First up, the worst name for a summer camp. Okay, everyone, vote for your favorite.
Who said band camp? I love you.
And we vote for it?
Yeah, you vote for your favorite one.
And next, a mystery that Sherlock Holmes could never solve, the case of the blank. Vote on your devices.
There you go.
I got kicked out. There we go. Oh, I missed that question.
Okay, next one. Like chicken fingers or chicken poppers, a new appetizer name for your fun theme restaurant, Chicken Blank. It's voting time.
Oh, geez, man.
Didn't let the 6th line do.
Chicken balls.
Next one, something you don't want to find in your Christmas stocking. Next, the absolute worst moment for a bird to poop on you. Time to vote.
Chicken restaurant.
I thought we were all answering the same question.
Chicken restaurant with the chicken ball. Your new chicken restaurant.
That's all for round one. Here's the scoreboard.
Let's see.
Let's just ignore it.
It's now time for round two. Everything is worth double, twice as much.
Okay.
So you're answering on your phones.
Okay.
Oh. I don't know.
Let's start this show. Our first prompt is the perfect song to hum on the toilet.
Oh.
That's great. Oh my god, it's the best day of my life. Oh my god, that's the best thing I've ever. Okay, wow.
I just love Nicole's laugh.
It said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask blank. Vote on your devices.
I didn't pick.
What? Oh, well, taxes.
I like how none of us like they were like, no.
I didn't know that.
Name for king. It's voting time.
So I'm guessing we don't all get to vote on every question.
No, we don't vote on the ones we did. The ones that are ours, we don't vote on.
Okay, but I'm not voting on this one.
Oh. I thought you
Next in line, the best part about being Donald Trump.
Next.
Vote on your devices.
Oh.
This is a tough one.
Oh.
I thought a lot of things before I.
I know we could get political, but
Could have gone a lot of directions.
He doesn't give any.
Not one.
Next one, something you wouldn't expect a Ouija board to say. Time to vote.
That would be awesome.
I'm not dead. Ah.
We've reached the end of round 2. Let's see what happened.
Case is in the lead.
we can do it all. We're not as useless as everybody thinks.
Never useless, just not like we do.
Exactly.
4-leaf clovers are lucky, but if you find a 5-leaf clover,
So this one, you're all answering the same question.
I don't have the answers. I mean, I don't have I just have thanks for your answers.
That means you put something in accidentally?
No, I haven't had any questions for a while.
That's odd. Maybe try refreshing?
Huh.
okay, soak it in. Okay, in round 3, you get to award 3 votes. You can give them all to one answer or spread them out.
Oh, okay, now I have them. Of a 5-leaf clover. Okay.
Oh, we. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's the end. Let's see the final scoreboard.
You just pulled that out.
Go Casey!
I did it!
Blue
Do I win the $1 million from the 5-leaf clover?
You have to find one first, then find us. So.
Oh, okay, okay.
So this is fun. So you competed, but this next game you are all on the same team.
Okay.
Oh.
You're all on the same team. Now here's the important part to know. Okay, so Kip, this is where I was going to say you need to listen to people closely. Do not use your phone for this part, Kip.
Out and
Oh.
Yeah, so
What
you're
do
just
I
gonna
do?
listen. So you're
Okay.
just gonna listen very closely to what everyone else is saying, and you're gonna tell them what they should do. You're going to play projector. Oh no!
Yeah.
Not everyone's in. Someone made a
Well,
boo-boo.
what is there a code?
Yeah, there was a code.
I didn't see the code.
That's okay. We'll try again. So this one I have to explain a little bit. So Kip is getting special instructions, but the rest of you, this is the code. ZORL.
Got it. Sorry.
Okay, so how this game works. You are... Wait, not everyone's in again. What is happening? Trigger happy people.
Who's the one with the trigger?
Wait for all 4 to fill up, please. Before you sing.
I think that was me. Okay.
Okay, so let's try that again.
Can you tell us when everyone's in?
I am the start button.
I will tell you when everyone's in, but I want you to wait because the game starts immediately. So listen very closely to what I'm about to say. You have instructions on your phone, but everyone has different instructions. So you all need to be talking very clearly, otherwise you're going to miss something. So for example, you will have a booklet that is how to defuse the bomb, but everyone has a different page. So someone will have page 1, someone will have page 4, someone will have page 3. So you have to call out loud what your instructions are, and then someone on their phone is also the diffuser. So you need to make sure they're not trigger happy and cut wires that they're not supposed to be cutting. Because that happens.
So what am I supposed to do?
So Kip, you are listening because when they're saying everything out loud, you will know what they should be doing. You'll be like, okay, if this is this, then this is that. So you are going to be able to direct very, very easily, being a projector, and you have to listen. And everyone needs to be very clear and no trigger happy things, because then you're going to blow up. If you get far enough in the bomb diffusing, then you get to a different type of bomb diffusing, which is organizing files in alphabetical order. But let's see if you get there. So the record holders so far for this, I believe, is the 3 6s so far for how far they've gotten in bomb diffusing. Let's see if you're able to break their record. Enjoy! Now you can hit start, and I'm going to leave you to it.
Okay, no pressure. Let's do it.
This warehouse is full of bombs. Just keep going until you explode. Have fun.
Connor, what? All right. Who has page 1?
Page 3.
I have page 1.
Okay, go first.
Cut all white wires.
Am I tripping? I don't see white.
I don't either. So who's two?
Okay? So I'm page 2. Cut the 3rd wire if it's yellow.
Yep.
I'm page 3.
Cut the 3rd wire if it's
The 3rd wire is yellow.
Who has control of the?
How about that? I don't know who. Yeah, somebody has to cut.
Who has control over?
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. None.
Do you have the scissors?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I just tapped my screen. I had page 3. Okay, now I have page 1.
Okay, go.
It says if there is a yellow wire present, cut the first wire. But I don't see a yellow wire.
Page 2.
Yep. Who has 2?
What? Honestly, I am absolutely baffled.
Who has page 2?
Casey, you are muted.
That's page 2.
Casey, you're muted.
There.
Sorry. If there is a green wire present, cut the 4th wire.
Okay, cut the 4th wire.
So somebody has to get the scissors and cut the 4th wire.
There we go. Okay, we're getting it.
Okay, so page 3 is if there is a blue wire present, cut the 2nd wire. So number 2.
Okay.
So if somebody, oh, there we go.
This is stressful.
It must change every time.
Yeah, they do.
I've got page 2.
I have page 1.
Okay.
The last number is 9.
So does anybody have 9? You better do something quick.
The code. So who has page 2?
Poke it.
What? No, who did that?
The last number was 9.
Yeah, the last what?
The last number.
Okay.
The first digit should have been 2.
Oh.
Okay.
I was just saying to write it down.
Can we try again?
Yeah, let's try. That was your warm up. Try that again. So Kip, they need to listen to all the instructions.
Okay. Who has page 1?
I do. I'm sorry.
That's
Page
okay.
1.
I'm the cutter.
Do not cut yellow wires, even if another rule says that you should.
Oh.
Yellow wires off. Page
Page 2.
Cut all wires next to 4. But it said don't cut yellow wires.
So then only cut
Okay, page
Somebody
3.
has to cut
Other-
wire 2. No, wire 3.
No.
Somebody has to cut wire 3.
Page 3.
Okay, that was it. We did it.
Is it?
Who has
cutter?
one?
Me. Wires need to be cut in order from right to left.
Okay. Number 2
Somebody
is
has
cut.
to start.
But we got to read all the pages.
Okay.
Maybe we should say, okay, there are multiple.
Somebody should say how many pages there are.
I don't think we know. We each get a different page.
Always 4 pages. There's always 4 pages.
Thank
Read
you.
all the instructions.
That's helpful.
Try again.
Okay.
Good.
Page 1.
Okay.
Cut all black wires. Nothing.
Page 2 is supposed to say what? Not even.
It says cut even
It's
wires.
supposed
Page
to say
2.
not even.
It says I have page 1.
Oh, sorry, mine changed.
Oh no, not right now I have page 3. So okay.
Yeah, mine changed too.
Do
Wait.
not
Page 1
cut
again.
the 4th wire, even if other rules say that.
Okay.
So who has 2?
I don't know.
Does
if I want
anybody
to-
have 2?
2?
Somebody cut 2, for God's sake!
Oh, no.
Not cut it. Read
Oh, I don't know.
Lion Falls are meant to have their groups to do this. We don't work well together.
Too many chefs in this kitchen.
I was gonna say, maybe we let Kip try and have someone else listen. Who would like to take his role?
I don't listen.
What's Kit's role?
Kip was okay. So
I don't know.
right. So when people are in the audience, they're able to deduce what you're saying and figure it out. So who is good at just listening and not getting overwhelmed with all the voices? That person should do what Kip was doing.
Not me.
The manifester.
You know what he's not doing.
Not me. Manifestors don't take directions.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, so now Kip, you're going to so wait, who said I'll try? Casey? Okay. So Reflector, you're going to not put the code in. Kip, this time you are putting a code. So it'll be WWOI. And
So am I just guiding the group?
Yes, you are gonna guide the group. You're gonna see, let's see if you do any better.
Where am I putting the code in?
On your phone, Kip.
Like with the
My
game.
phone does not have this game on it.
Oh, so you have to do the same thing. Jackbox.tv. The same thing you were using before, and now you just put in a new code.
I'm a jackpot. I'm at Quiplash.
Right. So
And
we're
it's frozen
putting,
there.
yeah, put the new code, and then it should change to Bomb Corp.
Okay. So what's the new code? Okay,
W-
WWOI.
Yeah, exactly. And Casey, are you ready?
I feel scared already.
Is everybody ready?
No, you're not
No.
ready, Kip. You're not in yet. There. Now you're ready.
Now you're in.
Okay, enjoy.
Okay, everybody ready? Go.
So many bombs. You'll never defuse them all. Seriously, you can't defuse them all. Endless work. I'm in heaven.
Okay, page 1.
Page
I'm the cutter.
Page 2. Page 2. Cut yellow wires. If the bomb's model ends with a number.
Okay, wait, hold on, wait.
Okay, no yellow wires. Did page 1 speak?
No.
Yeah. Page 1.
Page 1 is cut red wires if the bomb model ends with a letter. Otherwise, do not cut red wires.
Cut red wire. That's the command.
It
No,
ends
what?
with K.
Page 2.
Ends with K. Cut it.
Page 2. Page
Oh,
2.
page 2 says cut yellow wires if the bomb's model ends with a number.
Do
Otherwise, do
not
not cut yellow wires.
cut yellow wire. Page 3.
Cut the first wire.
Cut the first wire. Page 4. Trish,
I don't have page 4. I got the cutter.
who's
Okay.
got page 4?
Cut the red wire first, then, because that was the first direction.
Yeah. So do we have page 4 red? Because it's wire number 3 to cut, right?
Yeah. Cut
Yeah, just
cut
try
wire
cutting.
3.
And then cut not one wire number 1.
The first one too.
And one.
Yeah, that's why there's no 4, because that was it. Okay.
Got it.
Hey, yo, I don't have any battery remaining. I gotta stop.
Well, that's the game.
I have to quit. My battery's down to 5%.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on.
I
Hold
have
on.
page 3.
Let me just escape. There we go. Okay, Kip can jump off for a sec. Actually, yeah, because do you want to try again, or you're like, we tried? I want to make sure you feel good.
I don't know.
Okay, so that means if Kip is ready to go and you're feeling like you got your fill of party games, we can bid you adieu here. So thank you for playing and thank you for coming. So
Nice to
again,
meet you all.
everyone,
Oh, yes.
drop your links in and let everybody know where they can find you.
See you later.
Hi. How do I stop it?
All right. Okay, so boop. Let's bring on our lovely co-hosts, if they're there. Just like where are we? There we go. There's Danny, and then I will get Moni to come on when she's ready. But yeah,
The whole
Danny,
thing was
that was
amazing.
that
whole
was
thing
quite amusing. It was
Yeah.
that
yeah.
was crazy.
Mhm. We have a lot to say. We have a lot to say. It's an amazing thing to watch unfold. The fourth line was the most communicative.
This is true. But I think the record holders are still the 3 6s, right? The ones we had on last time.
Oh yeah, who's keeping track of that? But I
Oh,
get it.
I
Yeah,
am.
they were. Yeah. No,
I am
absolutely.
for sure. Someone is.
I'm
And
always
then
keeping track
before
of
them, I think it was the 1 3s who were
Oh no, we held the record. The 2 4s were the first ones that
the
actually
2
did
4s.
really
You're right. The
did
2 4s.
well.
There we
And then
go.
the
The
3
2
5s
4s,
pulled
and
up.
then it was the 3 5s, and then the 3 6s.
3 6s. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So 3 6s, I think, are still. I should like look back and see
Mhm.
what the thing is. But yeah, Moni's here, so we can tag team. Boop.
Boom. We're doing the thing. Moni. Oh, this is good. So we're able to do this broadcast, everyone, because it takes a lot. We got to get together every week. We do a bunch of stuff, and then these things go on for a while. So what were you doing? Dishes for a moment there, Moni? Well,
Oh no, I was laying in. I was
go hit Kitty and stuff.
I was laying and resting because usually I'm like I have like a side ear on the games going on, and then they
Mhm.
finish the wire cutting game, and then they all do their individual goodbyes and their individual little links. So I usually like wait for that to start going, and then I'm like,
Yep.
yes. So
No, it's all good. Yep,
skipping those
absolutely.
steps.
I was lost in a thought, actually. I was almost daydreaming for a moment there. But so we're going to do our transit weather report. So
Yeah.
this is what's pouring in because of what planets are in the sky, where, as it relates to the extra energy coming from the neutrino river or ocean coming in off the stars behind it, pulling through transits into our body graph. And these are the transits that are most ignited at this point.
Yeah, so for this one, which literally just starts today, which is kind of fun. So we're in line 1 of both of these energies. July 24th to July 29th, the sun is in gate 31 and the earth is in gate 41.
The unexpected.
Yeah. So here we can see it on the body graph, which is pretty fun. So we've moved ahead like quite far from like where we began. And so we continue on in this like counterclockwise motion. So we can see up top the 41 with the earth in this energy of contraction, and the 31 is influence. And so the first time in a couple weeks, because we've been a lot of root center, and it's finally shifted into root and throat.
Mm. Yep. Well, I'd just like to point out they're both collective, and that'll come in handy in a moment.
Oh, it's a good thing to know. Yeah. So the sun in gate 31, this is this gate of influence, the law of friction, whether passive or active, that engenders transference and thus influence. It's a throat gate. As Danny said, it's collective. So in this collective, we think sharing as the main keynote, and it's part of the understanding. It's the logic circuitry within that collective circuitry. Its partner is gate 7, which is the role of self in interaction. And the 731 is this channel of the alpha. I oftentimes hear this as this channel of like democratic leadership, where is like the 7 is like the people working behind the scenes kind of a little bit, and like the 31 is that like democratically elected leader. So I'm kind of curious to learn a bit more about this. And then the overall is gate 31 provides the vision for a new direction and shows others how to achieve it rather than doing it for them. Voice of I lead is only heard if backed by the majority. What do you have to say on that?
Well, the voice of I lead is they are dying to come out regardless of if the majority agree or not. And it's a healthy energy for them. So it's always about knowing the timing. And there's two types of timing with I lead. There's I lead because it's obvious. And then there's the I lead when it's not obvious. And the Democratic majorities, the sort of helpful sharing. In other words, this needs to be shared. And if no one's sharing it, all the energy for it is not there. It's not it's a non thing. And it wants to look into the future as it relates to putting things together. The I lead is for the collective. It's for the practical art of sharing. And I was just noticing as you're talking about its companion gate, gate 7, its polarity on the other side. Think about it. Gate 7, this whole rising up of the people, letting the people know it's part of the Sphinx. So it's saying, hey, we're sharing because we intimately know a direction into the future. And that sharing is empowered by one thing. So it really can't be corrupted. Only the not self will corrupt this in its purest form, like in a child. It is driven by the vessel underneath. The vessel empowers the direction. That's why the Sphinx and the vessel have always gone together. So this is an amazing influence. And by the way, when you're in the influence business and it's dealing with the people, unexpected things happen.
Yeah, I have a friend who has an undefined throat, but has gate 31, and he's also the cross of service. So he always ends up being the one who's like, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to take the lead on this. Someone's got to help and make this happen. And it's very impressive to see that with the 31 is the only throat gate that he has.
Yep. I lead or not.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
These
Following
voices
that,
are literal out of the throat. They are literal. You listen to the keynotes, those voices. That's the voice that comes out. You can flesh it out, but you should go around the throat and look at every voice that comes out. The activations you have, those are your voices.
I have no activations on my throat, so I have everyone else's voice coming through.
Yep. And then there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Earth in gate 41. This is the decrease. This is the gate of contraction, the limitation of resources, which maximizes the development of potential. It's a root gate. It's also part of the collective sharing gate, but the sub-circuit, it's part of the sensing and the abstract circuitry. The last one was part of that logical circuitry that relates to the spleen, and the 41 is abstract, relating to the emotional solar plexus. The 41 connects to gate 40, which is the clinging fire. It's a very passionate energy. And then the 4130 is the channel of recognition. So gate 41 drives you towards satisfying your desire and fulfilling your destiny, both of which rest in the hands of the fates. 41 holds the potential for all human experiences, but releases or initiates only one at a time. So I know the 41 is also that start codon, right? This is what's gonna.
It's the start codon. So this is what pumps humanity's starting point for its genetic process over and over and over again. And what it says is humanity is an experiential process, because this is the experiential stream of awareness that moves through the solar plex center. And so it's profound inside of us. And something else about this 41 is when it's by itself, it doesn't know there's a clinging fire on the other side. Even in the profile that are the transpersonal, where they're supposed to look across and see that, yeah, it has an idea, but the 41 all by itself isolated, it lets out one at a time, not necessarily knowing what the clinging fire. That's why the fates, the 30 doesn't know what's going to be given it. And the dang fates sometimes get in the way because 41's like, well, I don't know what you need, but I'm giving it. And one of them will lead because 41 is such a powerful thing. And so the being with these two gates has to recognize, channel of recognition, what they're recognizing as it relates to this whole process is this beautiful process of, oh my God, I don't get to know. And when it surrenders to that, it gets all the ones that it will come to know. So everything works out that way. And it's all this basically recognizing that you don't get to know. There's that limitation choke point for you to focus on in your experiment and realize it's not a choke point. It's just a point. um, I wanted to say all that because when you were reading, I was like, this is a beautiful gate.
Oh, I
It's a
love it.
beautiful
Everything you just said. It's
41, and it's
absolutely.
very earthy, right? So it's we're now grounded in the starting of this process that drives all human experience, and it's an adrenalized pressure to let out the capacity to fantasize, to go necessarily anywhere in your mind, to have a hunger in you to want to start something new. Really, that 41 talks to that 53 a lot. They're both one formats the other to start the thing. I'm sure 41 would like to finish it, but down at the bottom, it's where it's emptiest. And so it does get hungry. And when it gets all the way up to the top, to the 30, as it goes through that stream of awareness, that 35 at the throat, it terminates at, okay, I'm full. Been there, done that, until it empties back out and starts back at 41. That's this experiential process, filling up and starting over. So it's always something new or something else coming out as a desire out of this desire for new experience and change. It's amazing. Adrenaline too. And it must be shared.
It's so interesting with like the 41 coming from this place of decrease, of contraction, right? Of almost
Mhm.
this place of lack and having that creativity, that imagination, that fantasy, that adrenal drive for something new from this place of contraction and decrease, from this place of like almost like tightening, right? It's contracting. And from that place of less of limitation of resources, that's the limitation of resources which maximizes the development of potential. It's like, what is it, the mother necessity is the mother of
It's
invention.
MacGyver.
Yeah.
All of MacGyver could be called Gate 41 in a way because it was
Mhm.
always a new experience, and it's like I've got a matchbook and a jackknife. It's limited resources. Got to build a sail.
But that
So
maximizes the potential, the development of potential. I think that's very interesting that that's so wired into the core initiation factor of humans.
it's an actual practical thing because on a material plane, we always have to build in for the possibility that we're going to have to do that. In fact, the likelihood that we will be doing that plenty, no matter what. And
Mhm.
adrenaline, as it being the functional center, which is called the root center, is our adrenals, that fight or flight. It's always looking for this balance between fear and trust, and it's in a really adrenalized way. So just put adrenaline in there for your keynote of
Mhm.
the meaning of the center, and you recognize adrenaline's only ever meant to be used in spurts.
Mhm.
Everybody knows if you live over adrenalized, you become fatigued, right?
Mhm.
So most of the day is supposed to be spent. We're not supposed to be spent our days adrenalized.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let
Mhm.
that be a clue as to where gate 41, if you have it in your body graph,
I
can
do.
sometimes go off track. I'm pouring out too much adrenaline on all of this. Talk about
Mhm.
a reason to become fatigued. And this is the grounding for the week. We're all going to be grounded in how is it this adrenaline's coming out? Starting in the first line, the foundation. What's it going to mean as it comes out? This has a desire. Humanity's going to desire stuff.
Mm.
That's what's in the weather forecast. And you know what it desires at the end? What is it looking for? Change. It's looking for change. There's going to be a lot of adrenaline fuel to find the change of it all.
Mm. And you're
Whatever that
saying that
means.
that following of the 41 to the 30 to the 36
Yep.
to the 35?
Yep. Yep. Thank you, by the way. I skipped that step.
No, it's fine. I love it. It helps me learn. Cool. So incarnation crosses. So people who are born or in the process of being born this week. First up, we have the right angle cross of the unexpected. people with the inherent power to attract the collective's attention, who become our unexpected leaders or heroes. Their nurturing influence is discovered and acclaimed in the midst of the unexpected.
Mm.
Then next up, we'll have our juxtaposition people. It's the juxtaposition cross of influence. Naturally influential and consistent people who intentionally use their mental processes, new experiences, and memory in order to persuade others. And finally, we'll have the left angle cross of the alpha. Powerful leaders who impact others by resolving issues of survival on the mental plane. People look to for practical solutions that secure the future.
That mental plane is important in this movement. So throughout this week, this movement will be taking place generally as it relates to specifically that 41 pouring out this desirous energy for new experience and to basically bring experience along, and it hungers. Just put that word hunger to start. Hunger to start is a feeling that you get to have this week. Let it out. And so that's sort of the anchor of it all as it relates to what is it we're doing here. And that 31 is looking for the type of influence that it can say I lead, and it doesn't even know that it wants to, is part of the thing, part of the unexpected. It's as unexpected to them as well. So we get to share in that. I always found this cross to be fascinating because unexpected things happen, but it's about the sharing of how something always coalesces out of it, because it's got this gate 31 whose influence leads to something logical taking place. And that's the one thing we all get to talk about together, is what's logical. That's the only thing we can end up coming together to understand. And 31 is the epitome of that. So it's unexpected. Let's unexpectedly see a bunch of things get solved this week. That's how I would read that on a mundane plane, just in our day-to-day life. Unexpectedly watch a bunch of things move on their way or get solved this week.
That's cool.
Yeah. Was there another slide?
There's the last one. Yeah, there's the one more.
Oh, well, if we're still talking about these gates, and as it relates to the hexagrams that are in them, yeah, do the hexagrams.
Yeah, cool. So this week, July 24th to July 29th, we have the sun in gate 31, which is this gate of influence, and the earth in 41, which is contraction. What's really fun with these is they're actually like exact mirrors of each other, where for 31, we have lake over mountain, and for 41, we have mountain over lake. And the imagery descriptions of this was really interesting. With gate 31, it's the mountain holding the lake. And it noted the importance of it having the separation of the lake and the mountain, right? It's not like lake and earth, it's not lake and dirt, because it would just turn into mud. And so actually having this like separation between the mountain and the lake, between the mountain and that water, in order to like hold it up and to separate it, right? And so it says, the noble one accepts people into an empty space. He ensures that he can hear and receive others without confusing his self with theirs. So
that's the I Ching. Is that the I Ching
that's
language?
I Ching. Yeah, this is my
I
Ching.
Dude, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I always try to like take a look at it, but it's really neat because it's that
That's
idea.
a description of influence. Read it again.
Yeah. The noble one accepts people into an empty space. He ensures that he can hear and receive others without confusing his self with theirs.
The empty space is his first recognition of the need for leadership. It's a channel that has a recognizing energy. It's a projected channel. And the recognition of it, even if everyone recognizes it at the same time, it was an empty space. It gets filled with the voice of this influence.
Yeah, and having that space for others, and recognizing having this space for the other people, and then having his exactly, and that like proper influence is acknowledging the differentiation between the two and having the space for the lake, and not having it mix up and get all blended up into mud.
And think about leadership in general. The first thing leadership does in this particular case, because it's collective, logical, is it invites everyone else in. It follows the archetype of a projector theme and just simply invites all the other energy in. It's perfect.
Right? That mountain holding the lake. And then on the other side with the 41, that contraction, which is the flip of the mountain over the lake, This one is also very interesting because it was saying a noble one, when he gives things up, is not without anger or desires. He just keeps them under control. Solid as the mountain that contains the lake and limits the flow of its waters. Without the evaporating waters, the mountainside would be barren. Without the mountain, the water would dissipate and be lost. Together, they create a complete landscape, emotion sustaining growth in higher experience, and control deepening your emotional capacity.
This whole thing controls the beginning of that emotional process. What 41 puts out is what gets dealt with by the clinging fire, with its fear of fates, its wisdom creating fear of fates, and of fate itself at times. And so I love that. Can you just read the short one-liner again? That is the 41.
Yeah, that like last line of it. Together, they create a complete landscape, emotion sustaining growth in higher experience, and control deepening your emotional capacity.
That control just comes, it's because it is controlled. The 41 limits its adrenal outlay. It limits it for obvious reasons. I am the body. The chemistry of the body says, dude, limit the adrenal outpouring. You just here's the clinging fire beckons something. There's an emotional energy. Let it pull. I don't know what it is, but here you go. And so the 41 says, here you go. I like it. Plus I want this. Plus this is a thing. And it realizes its shape inside the mind, sort of the being, as they recognize I hunger, and they sort of put a label on it somehow. They try to come up with what does it mean, but the clinging fire is what's going to actually give that meaning over time. I love how they describe it. And when I said, can you read it again? No, it's that subheading that goes right after the 41. It's short.
Oh,
It's one sentence long. It's always like 1 to 2
I
sentences.
find right here. 39, 40, 41. 41, decrease, contraction, the limitation of resources which maximizes development of potential.
That's a translation of what the I Ching was saying.
Mhm.
Think about how that distills what was in the I Ching. God, it's such poetry. I don't even know what to say about that. So, by the way, the things you hunger for and the influence you ultimately will have isn't about your influence and your hunger. It's about how it is shared and who it is with, because both these energies require sharing is not an option with collective gates and collective channels. It's not an option. Unshared is unrealized.
Yeah, it's just what is.
Right. And so the sharing of this as you're out in the world today, if you're feeling this energy and you want to spearhead something, fill the empty void with the people by inviting them. Now you get to know, this is like a key into this week. You can keynote it with invite whatever you want on the things you wish to lead to fulfill the feeling that seems to be hungering for, so that you can go ahead and see if it worked or not, And if it didn't, you got a whole week, do it again or not. Have fun with it. This is a little scalpel into breaking open what this week is, that you can go ahead and operate on your own self. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's great. This is great. I feel really good, and I missed you, Danny. I've missed you for the past week or so.
Hey, we didn't even talk about these beforehand, did we?
No, I was out of town. I just got back.
Right, that's right. This was so good. That's right. I meant to get back in touch with you about 2 or 3 times in the past day or so, but I didn't know if you were back yet. It's funny.
I was recovering, so it was
I
fun to
bet.
get on the fly with you.
So you were on. What did you do again? You went
I
to
went out to Michigan. I was camping. I was burning.
Is it Burning Man Burn?
Yeah, it was a Burning Man burn, but it was in Michigan, so it was more chill. It was around a big lake. It was a great time. We were there for like a week, so I'm just still in recovery mode.
Oh, that's good. Well, recover away, and I guess we're done.
Yeah.
We did the thing. Anything else you would like to say about what people could look forward to this week as they experience this week with this driving force of the sun and this grounding attraction of the earth?
Yeah, I love the things that you brought up. I would say with like the 41, right, and like grounding in that, it's like that maximization of potential by contraction. So maybe those places where we might think that things are a little tight or a little contracted or a little, maybe even annoyed, right? That like something is in a place of limitation, and where we can maybe be creative about it and have some imagination about it and see what kind of stirs up in us, right? It's like a little kid. You get them a toy, they don't care about it as much as they care about the box. So like
Right.
where are those ways that we can like find some fun or some creativity in what is available, and the creativity that comes from having less available, you get to be more fun with that. And then, yeah, seeing
Wanting
how,
less. Go ahead and want less, have less in a way. Like see the lessness of this one little aspect is sort of what you're saying.
yeah, and like the imagination that comes from it, it's just like have fun with it, be creative, see what comes up from that kind of place, and then how that comes into a place of creative sharing and leadership.
Mm. I think that's cool. So it's now it was the sun that was the 31, right? Yep. So that's automatically going to throw that desire in there. There's your neutrino weather forecast for the week.
Yeah, it feels good.
Shazam. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moni.
Thank you, Dan.
Whoop whoop, another one in the dust.
There I go.
Oh my gosh, personal destiny done. Oh my god, how
Yay,
many
wow.
profiles was that? Too many.
1 3 1 4 2
7.
4 2 5 3 5 3 6.
4
Was
6.
it 4 6 4 6? Was that 7 7?
7.
I got 7, and then we got 1 on the 4 ones, and then probably another 7.
No, there's less
Or there's 5.
transpersonal
Oh,
profiles.
good.
715 is the number. That's
Oh,
how.
thanks. Now I
We're
just have even
officially
more.
going over the hump.
Yep.
Wow.
That's
I was
why
saying,
I'm
this
so
is the
excited.
pivotal- This is the apex moment in a way. We're now at that middle point. That's what I was saying in the beginning. This
That's
is
cool.
basically, this makes a middle fulcrum, because if there's 12, that again, anyways.
Yeah, the 7 and then the 6 remaining. No, that makes absolute sense. Where we're like 51%.
Yep. And so we're off over onto the other side. Nice.
Yeah, I'm stoked. That was a delight.
It was quite a thing,
They were
wasn't
so
it?
fun.
They were
That
so sweet.
talkativeness, I had no idea we fourth lines were so like gonna say it. We're gonna say it again.
It's going to be interesting to see next week, to see how they're different from the 4 ones.
4 1, yeah.
They'll be different. The 6s had knocked into things. They kind of know what they're going to say. There's a transpersonal aspect to it. The 4-1, it's neither transpersonal nor personal. In this, it's I don't know.
I don't know. Tightrope walkers. We'll see.
We're gonna find out. But I'm betting that there'll be more investigative coolness to it rather than.
Oh, we should take some bets, right? Before
or-
every week.
or
Or
not
like, what do you
jinx it.
think they're going to be like?
Or maybe not jinx it. Now that I think about it, I haven't predicted what they're going to be like. I haven't wanted it to seem to like, in case I don't want to jinx it. I don't know.
You're not jinxing nothing. They're gonna be
I
what
think
they're
it's
gonna
fun.
be.
It's
I
gonna
like
be
talking about it.
it'll be a good time regardless. And we are back to our can't talk today. Regular schedule, friends. 8:30 Eastern, and we will be on that schedule for the foreseeable future. No more
Right.
switching of times.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the glitching you're noticing going on our screen with our lovely hostess of all times of the mostest is that this was biting off quite a bit, and she's now in the glitching phase of I think I'll finish and it will be great, but this is beautiful. I love watching this whole thing unfold. It's like the whole thing is amazing. See, it's beautiful. We're going to manifest this, Moana. You made this happen. You rock. We'll get through the whole thing, and people will be so happy when it's over. And we can all go ahead and not be able to know how to have a good ego reward, but Moni will tell us.
We'll vicariously live through your ego reward.
Human
It's gonna
design
be like,
humor.
what
We
was
gotta
that?
start it up.
Why? Why did we think that was a good idea?
It's just you, Moana. So we
but
just went along with it. 'cause
we
you
just
got
went
really
along with
excited.
it, right? It's like the freight train that just like has like the dangly cans just
Yeah,
being
we're the
dragged along.
dangly cans.
I'm sorry, that's a horrible way to visualize you guys.
Human design humor. Gotta
Like,
love it.
Moana's got this great idea. I guess we're going. Okay. Grab my bindle.
Oh, I love you guys. It's such
love
an
you.
honor that you even said yes. I mean, I guess you didn't have a choice, but
You want to be part of this show? That's where we're going. Okay.
ooh, Nelly. But we're getting there. We're getting there. This is great. There's a bunch of comments I have not been reading.
I try to just do as I'm told. It's easier that way.
Yeah, there you go. Just is saying all the loveliest things. Yeah, she,
Has
you know,
everyone put the info in the
this
thing?
is
'Cause
some
come on,
love, right? So many
oh,
aspects
thank
that
you.
go into it that we don't know from. Yeah, it there's a lot that go into
Thank you.
each episode. Like all of us are integral to making every episode even come online. So
Right.
any love, give us a follow, tell your friends to come hang out with us and watch live, share, watch the replays in whatever ways that you can show support. Please do. And with that, let's all bid our audience adieu and catch them back for the 4-1s.
4-1s it is next week.
Right? Very exciting. All right, friends. With that, adieu, adieu, adieu.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for